Happy Sunday evening, everybody. Congratulations again. We are 1 day and 1 week closer again. Very good. Yeah, thank you. So we continue with our Isopanisad study, and this is almost the last session. Kann jemand übersetzen, bitte? Ja. Auf Deutsch. So we are at the last part of prayers. You have different prayers here. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jayo Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari, Jayo Gopi Jana Lava Girivaradari, Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Jamuna Tira Vanachari, Jamuna Tira Vanachari, Jamuna Tira Vanachari, Jamuna Tira Vanachari, Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Gyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunminitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Tam Shrimat Krishna Chaitanya Devam Vande Jagadgurum Yasyanukampaya Shvapi Mahabdim Santaret Sukham. My respectful obeisances unto Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Guru of the whole world, Jagat Guru, by whose grace a small dog can cross a big ocean very happily and easily. Yasya prasadadagyapi sadhya sarvagyatam vrajetsa Sri Chaitanya Devame Bhagavan Samprasidatu. May Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, be fully merciful unto me. By His grace, a complete fool can get all knowledge in one moment. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Congratulations, we are almost near the conclusion of Shri Isopanisad, and Krishna allowing, we will read the last two mantras of this very, very beautiful and deep devotional Bhakti Shastra. Prabhupada has set this book as one of the books to know for the Bhakti Shastri degree. That's Prabhupada's system. He said that usually we read a letter from Srila Prabhupada in the beginning that we will have an exam on such and such date, then this will be these books, then Bhagavatam, 6 cantos will be the next Bhakti Vaibhav, then the next will be Bhakti Vedanta, and then those who will pass all these exams will be awarded the title Bhakti Vedanta, because we want that the transcendental family diploma is not lost. Yeah? So Srila Prabhupada is Bhakti Vedanta, so therefore, of course, sometimes we think, okay, I am Bhakti Vedanta and I should be the only one who is Bhakti Vedanta. And you, I don't know, maybe, I'm not sure, right? So, but Prabhupada shows the true spirit of a devotee and a true Brahminical, a true Brahmana spirit of wanting everybody to get all the best good fortune. So he says, I want that everybody becomes Bhakti Vedanta. He says, we need thousands, how does he say? He says, that and those who have the title Bhakti Vedanta will be allowed to initiate, and maybe by 1975 all my disciples will, sons and daughters, he says, sons and daughters, and maybe by 1975 all my disciples will be allowed to initiate. This is January 1, New Year of 1969, letter to Hamsadut, a very famous letter. So Srila Prabhupada is setting this book. This is one of the most famous books, Upanishads, and one of the most important 11 Upanishads, and it is very, very sweet. Do you find you like it, Isopanishad? So we have read mantras 15 and 16. What do these mantras 15 and 16 ask for? What are these? What are these prayers about? Bashar Prabhu? Remove the effulgence. Yes. Why? What for? To see the form of the Lord. Yes. That's 16. To see the. Face, yes, to see the face. Would you like to see the face of the Lord? Yes, and this is on the other side, beyond the beyond. Right? So we have a very interesting comment from Shri Baladev Vidyabhushan on these mantras 15, 16, because you can see it moves. Before it says, okay, you you be serious. You systematically try to see the Lord in everybody's heart. You try to be good, right, and meditate on the Lord. These are the qualities of the Lord. Then not only be good, but be balanced. Hare Krishna. So this is really difficult, you know. Okay, we can either enjoy or suffer. But to enjoy in a Krishna conscious way without attachment, this is difficult. Yeah? So, as the first mantra is teaching, or to work without attachment, or to balance taking care of spirit and matter in a proper way, to find this balance. So some devotees, they have come, because we repeated balance, 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 and then, you know, if something doesn't work, where is your balance? And then some devotees, they say, it's painful to hear this already. You know, how many times will you tell me balance, balance? You know, it's what is this balance? How do you find this balance? So true, yes, this is complicated. But if you do find the proper measure, the proper balance of both, what example does Srila Prabhupada give of this proper balance from the purport? And you remember, how did you measure your temperature? Does anybody still measure the temperature with this thermometer or only this? Or it says we all have the fever of material life. Yes. Yes, yes. If you have 41 or 42 degrees, you try to reduce. You should reduce, but do not reduce it to 0. Reduce it to 37 or whatever is a little less, the normal temperature. Jai Shri Prahlad Nrsimhadev ki jai. Also, it will be different for different people. That's why we have the different varnas, different ashrams, different people, different shloks for different folks, as they as they joke. Like, for example, you know, the normal temperature, like my father, throughout his life, he had 35 point, he had like 1 degree less than most people. 35 something. Not 36.6, but 35 point something. And it's okay, that's his normal temperature, right? And some people have 37. Some have 37.2. And it's normal. For them, it's normal. So people are of course it's not usual, but for them this is their balance. I don't know if we have some medics here, homeostasis. You call it this proper sustainable balance. Something you can sustain, something you can support for long term. That's that's your healthy condition. In Ayurveda, health means proper balance of all the parts. So if you manage to do this, if you not only choose spirit, that's the main thing, okay? The main thing, choose spirit. Do spiritual life. That's the main thing. Then do it nicely, do it properly, without insulting also other people, respecting other people properly. So Madhyam Bhakta, he will make friends with. He sees somebody ignorant, what will he do? If you see somebody ignorant, somebody doesn't know what to do, what should you do as a Madhyam Bhakta? So, Balprabhu?
To be merciful and try to engage
merciful,
in
right?
service.
So if you see somebody wrong, somebody is wrong, that's a sign. I should be merciful, right? Sorry, that's the that's the message. Yeah. And if you see some hateful demon, then what do? Neutral. We don't think about them, right? As our poor Friedrich Nietzsche said, if you look into the dark abyss for too long, the dark abyss starts looking at you back, right? If you meditate at the bed, like sometimes there is a total reversal of good and bad. Yeah? You promote something good, and then you justify mass murder. We have this experience here, now it's happening with the Russian attack on Ukraine. Basically they turned everything around and bad becomes good for them. They popularize mass murder of civilians and everything. The worst becomes the best for them. It's promoted as something good. I mean, within Russia, within the Russian Federation. So we should be careful about meditating. So in Ukraine, for example, the authors and they say, yeah, okay, you can naturally you are angry, but do not be too hateful, because then it's not even for soldiers. This is not good. Like recently there was some horrible stuff happening, and they say they actually were trying to provoke the soldiers so that they commit also some Ukrainian soldiers, that they commit war crimes on the prisoners of war. So they said, be careful, do not be provoked, this is horrible, but don't do like this. You should not do like this, right? Even though it seems like it's fair, justified, but when you meditate, again, as our poor Nietzsche said, that if you meditate on the darkness, then the darkness meditates on you. So therefore, Madhyam Bhakta, when he sees somebody, some hateful, even demoniac person, one is supposed to practice upeksha. Upeksha is like indifference, right? Neutrality, which is very nice to speak from the seat, but not so easy to practice. Yes. Indifference. Any questions? Any comments? Yes. Oh, that's Friedrich Nietzsche. Yeah. Not void. He says dark abyss. Abyss, Abgrund. In the mountains, you know, you look far down, and then it starts pulling you, so to say. I don't know exactly what he said. Or they say after you kill a dragon, it's very important not to become a dragon yourself. Right? That's another way to say it. Anyway, this is common sense, but this is one of the behaviors. Patanjali also says in the Yoga Sutra that if you see a sinful, about sinful person, he says, be happy to see happy people, make friends with pious, and be compassionate to see the suffering. Practice compassion, and if you see some sinful, just don't meditate on them. Just if you can help. If you can't, just move aside. And then all the obstacles will be reduced on your path. That's madhyam. That's for practice. Yah karoti samadhyam. This is the practice of the intermediate devotee. Bhagavatam says. Okay, so if you do this, then what happens? What is your next problem? Your next problem is too much bliss. That's verse 15. Too much bliss. You are so good, you are so perfect, that the next prayer by the devotee says, oh my Lord, there's too much light. And there is another translation, this Hiranmayena Patrena is Hiranmayena Patrena. Another translation is that it could be all blessings, also material blessings. Patra can mean like a plate, so it can mean also some other things like offering, getting all the blessings, like side effects. So bhakti and mukti are unsought side effects on the path of good performance of bhakti yoga. So therefore a devotee says, please move aside this effulgence and show your face. So let's allow me to approach you in the personal relationships. So this is the commentary. Yes.
And the word starting this mantra, this verse, is how it is described, like prayer.
Yeah, just you can just say that here he is praying to like this to give mercy. These two mantras are saying, give me mercy and allow me to establish personal relationship. And then the next two mantras are saying, please guide me. Please reduce my obstacles, my sins and obstacles, and please guide me on the best path towards you. Supathe, on the best path. Right? But I didn't have much time in the morning, so I thought I will mention this now, because this is a very famous sequence. You might have heard. I have put this slightly different because in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, this is how it's Shrotavya, Mantavya, Nididyasitavya. This is the sage speaking to Gargi, very learned lady. I think this is husband and wife, if I remember correctly. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Gargi. And then he says that you should hear Shrotavya. You must hear about spirit. And this is the first stage of learning. You hear. And we also hear so many times that you should hear. Yes, that hearing is the most important sense. Hearing. Do you agree that hearing is the most important sense? Hear. Krishna, Krishna. Good one. Yeah. Thank you. Do you agree that hearing is the most important sense? Okay, everybody agrees, huh? Okay, then you don't agree. Which sense do you think is more important? Seeing. Okay, why?
Because hearing can be misunderstood. It can hear
Hear, lie. Okay, yes. Seeing. Okay. Yes. Pratyaksha. Yes.
It's not like complete,
Not
because
complete.
our senses are also like limited. It's like when we see it, when we look at the sun, we think like the sun is like this small
Exactly.
ball,
Right.
but
Right.
we
right.
have to do some research to find
Yes.
out that actually the sun is quite big.
Mhm.
And to hear is like on a higher level because it refers to Shruti. So, and this is like knowledge we can only get to know by like
Hearing.
authorities,
Yes,
by the
yes, yes.
acharyas.
So this, I put it on the board. I didn't put it here, so maybe I can also write it here. Let me see, how much space do I have here and here? Yeah, it's better to put here. So this is Srila Prabhupada's introduction. The three, they are very famous. They are famous in all universal in the Indian schools of knowledge. In the Bhagavatam, Krishna mentions them in the Uddhava Gita. These are three methods or paths of knowing. Yeah, you may remember. So the first one, as you mentioned, is pratyaksha, means direct perception, and usually this is eyes. Aksha is eyes. We have binoculars. Aksha, that's the eyes. Ochi, that's so sense perception. Sense perception. And then anumana is logic. Anumana is logic. And then shabda is authoritative sound. So that's sound in the sense of transcendental sound, Veda, the revealed scriptures that Krishna is, like Isopanisad, is giving us. So yes, this is seeing, then you can think about it, but by seeing and thinking, maximum you can realize that there is some eternal life, maybe, this effulgence, maybe you can perceive some of this light. But then further, you need information from the other side. Bhurijan Prabhu is saying that if you study a piece of bread or chapati, you can maybe conclude something about the place, the land, something where it grew. But you cannot say how many children does the farmer have, right? And what color is the hair of his wife, right? Or you can say something, but something's impossible to say from studying the grains. You have to get some information from the other side. So this is the Veda. That's why we need Shabda or transcendental sound. Not any sound, but transcendental sound. We do not reject the others. All three are good, but they have different spheres. Like when I have to walk through the door, it's not that Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam. No, I have to look. Okay, there's the door. Yes. Then, or if I have to think about what to do tomorrow and so forth, I use logic and anumana. But if I have to learn something about what's in the spiritual world, there's no way. There's no way to. How does Krishna look? There's no way to speculate. So that's where Shabda is important. Anyway, this is some general points many of you might have heard. But here, about the eyes. Thank you for bringing up the eyes, because in education, we, like right now, I'm writing on the board, right? And you are seeing. And I'm walking here and there, so it's more difficult for you to sleep. Sorry. Because otherwise, if I just sit in one place and say, yeah, Krishna is God, and this, and then you say, yeah, true. But if I walk, it's scary. Maybe I can come close, and who knows? So it's more difficult to sleep. Also, who knows? Maybe I will drop something, and then, oops, and you can draw some conclusions. So seeing is good. And the eye has 20 times more thicker nerves going from the eye to the brain than from the ear. 20 times more, right? But still, it's like Purnachandra Maharaj explained, like if we put you in front of a car engine, you see the car engine, you can see the car engine. But if you do not hear the explanations, hear or read, reading is another form of hearing, you will not make the head or tail of it. You can look as much as you want, but without some added explanation, it makes no sense, cannot be put together. Or so for brain development, for everything, it's very important, for getting knowledge, it's very important to hear. Well, shall I put some scary tidbits of facts, like for example, children who grow up in less fortunate households where the mother cannot spend enough time and something, then these children by the age of 4 years old, if they spend time in the household where mother gives a lot of time, they hear 500,000 words or 1,000,000 words by the time they are 4 years old. And if they spend time in a household where the mother can't give time or the father can't give time, they hear much less, 10 times less words. So hearing is important, even if you cannot understand. It's still important. It gives you a lot of sense. I grew up in a household where everybody was working. I was self-trained child. Hare Krishna. Sorry, you're stuck with me for now. Anyway, so hearing allows us to make sense of what we see. That's why it's very important. So here, this is the first thing. You hear. You begin to hear, okay, there is spirit, there is another world, there is eternity, you never die, there are different planets, there are other planets, there are people who have seen, there are people who are coming, there are people who died and came back, there are people who remember past lives, there's millions of stories, actually, very well studied, and it's just, unfortunate that they are not very discussed. So here, but then you have to you have to think, you have to analyze, mantavyo. You have to think. Like you might have heard the story of Dundukari and Gokarna about Srimad Bhagavatam, glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam from the Padma Purana. And there were two brothers, Gokarna means cow-eared. He had ears like a cow. Did you see ears of a cow? You have nice cows here, very friendly and very philosophical. Yeah. So he had, anyway, it's a long story, just short. It's in the Veda base. It's available to read and to hear. So his brother he became a ghost. He died, and so this brother, very learned brother, wanted to save him, protect him. So he decided to read Srimad Bhagavatam. And this ghost Dundukari, he took shelter in a bamboo stick. And then he was reading Srimad Bhagavatam for 7 days, and every day one, one joint would crack. So he would, every day he would move. And then on the 7th day, and the whole village also was listening to Srimad Bhagavatam, and on the 7th day, the Vaikuntha airplane came and took away Dundukari. And then, the villagers said, what about us? We also listened. We were there. And then the Vaikuntha Vasis said, you were listening, but he was listening and contemplating. He was desperate. He had no no other escape, no other solution. So he was listening very attentively, Dandukari. So therefore, he got it, we take him. And you have to stay back, all 200 villagers. But don't worry, because Gokarna will read Srimad Bhagavatam one more time, and now you can listen very deeply. And then we'll come back. And after 1 week, they took all of them to the spiritual world. Anyway, so this is the story establishing the importance of hearing and then analyzing. It's like putting your food in the mouth, into the mouth, and then chewing it. Right? How do you analyze? Ask questions, yes. How else can we analyze?
Trying to look for contradictions.
Yes, trying to look for contradictions, yes.
Trying to make connections.
Trying to make connections, yes. How does it fit with this piece, with that piece, with what I heard before? How does it fit with what I know? Bhurijan Prabhu, who started this systematic study, he has a whole range of questions. He says, how is it connected with the previous verse? How does it change? What are the natural sections in this? Like sometimes I remember I read some prayers in the Bhagavatam, and it's so boring. I'm sorry, it's true, right? My friend complains. I mean, the most unread chapter of the Krishna book is the most unread is the prayers of personification. Yes, the prayers of the personification. Big chapter, amazing philosophy. Nobody reads it. True, that's true. Story, okay, we'll read the story. This, oh my God, how many pages? Oh my God. But, huh? Yes, 87. And Prabhupada gives a lot of interesting explanations. But then I remember I would come to some prayers and they're like, what is it? But then I would try to apply what Bhurijan Prabhu is saying. See, what are the logical sections here? Okay, how many sections can I find? Okay, there are 12 verses. It seems like these 3 verses glorify Krishna. These 4 say this is how we surrender. These 2 say what result we get. And at the end, we have verses saying this is what we ask for. Please give us this blessing. Wow, it's beautiful. All of a sudden, it becomes so interesting. Right? If you try to apply some analysis to it, try to go deeper.
I'm sorry, I was for 2 seconds away. Please can you repeat it again?
From how? 2 seconds?
2 seconds.
I'm saying that when
And then I lost this.
when we analyze, try to see the sections. We have some series of verses, usually prayers we find difficult to read. But if you try to see how they are built, then all of a sudden it becomes so beautiful and even interesting. You can think, how can I apply? How does it apply to our society? And so forth. You can investigate some topics. I need to refresh. We have the last two verses, prayer for the path. Before this, we have the prayers for mercy. Before this, we have 6 or 3 and 3. You have to see how many. About balance. Before this, we have meditating on Krishna everywhere. Qualities of Krishna. And then Ishava. It's too many, huh? Okay, prayers. Then you can put prayers together.
Can we write them down, because this is one of the questions
I will not give it. Don't worry. Because you can divide it slightly differently, as you can see. It was there in the question bank, so I kept it because it helps us to think. What are the? Okay, so then. The next one, you hear, you analyze, and then nididhyasitavya, you make it part of your life. How can I make it part of my life? How can I apply it? The easier version is how can he apply it? Yes? Did it ever happen to you? You listen to some class, and it is such a good class, and you think, I should get a recording and give it to such and such Prabhu. He should listen. He's doing exactly this, what they... I remember I had one friend, every time I was disturbed, oh, he missed this class, he should have listened to this. Does it ever happen to you, or am I the only one who thinks that? Oh, that's exactly for him. Sorry. No, it's for me. I mean, everything is for internal use, right? Not for others. It's for me. Everything is for me. For others, that's again, as you say. If example example is the best. How is it? What's the precept? There's some saying that example is the best instruction. Okay, so these are the three classic. Hear, analyze, apply. Three very famous steps from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, slightly different in some other place, but they are often repeated as three steps to deeper and deeper study. Usually they recommend study things 3 times. One time you study for the author, second time you study for yourself, and third time you study for the neighbors. Like how can you, or for relatives, how you can explain for them. And Brahmaji also studied 3 times. It's helpful. And then you can understand really, really nicely. But this in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad speaks about spirit. Whereas what we have here, Baladev Vidyabhushan in his commentary says, for Krishna we need one more step. Because by these 3 steps we can maybe understand oneness, effulgence, and spirit. But to understand Krishna, we need his mercy. We need his mercy. So, therefore, in these verses, devotee is praying, please give me mercy. Please give me mercy. And you can see that this is not a greedy mercy. It's a mercy saying, I don't need this happy effulgence. I mean, it's nice, but show yourself. I want more than just this happy effulgence. Hare Krishna. Okay. So then 17 and 18. But yeah, so this is pray for mercy. Pratya or prathyo means to be prayed for. Here, analyze, apply, and this is pray. Is not no, not necessarily. I can think, how can I put in my life? Like for example, we hear balance. Okay, so how can I balance? Okay, I should eat maybe not 44 chapatis, but maybe 43. Right? A little more balance. My friend in Vrindavan, he likes Mahabharata. He likes to invite me. And we go back decades, and he tries to cook something nice, and he gives me something. Then I eat, and then he says, "Hari Purush, what is this? You eat so little." I said, "I can't eat anymore." He said, "No, I remember, in the BBT in Lithuania in Druskininkai, you were eating such a big plate of halwa. Now you eat nothing. Come on, Mahabhagat, I was 20 years younger." I had digestion better at that time. Anyway, so balance is something you try to do. Prayer always, mercy is always good for everything, but still it's some of your effort. But Krishna revealing himself, that's his sweet will, on his own sweet will, right? So this is extremely, this is, other things you can try, you should try yourself, but this one only by his mercy, when he reveals himself. Karen? Similar, but even more than that, because here he's not just saying, it's not just curiosity or even desire for knowledge, because desire for knowledge paradoxically can sometimes also become an obstacle, right? If I'm too greedy to know too fast, too much, right? Sometimes I need to let understanding mature. It takes some, like in mathematics or something. It takes some time to. So therefore, here this is a prayer in order to serve. In other words, this is a loving exchange. He's praying for, show me your face so that I can worship you, so that I can serve you. This is the top idea. There is some knowledge there, like revelation, that Krishna reveals himself. But this is not just knowledge, this is bhakti, devotional service. Yeah?
Probably regarding the questions, there is mentioned the nectar of instruction, 3 texts. Is this intentional or?
Really? Maybe there's some.
I mean, after the key memorization verses,
Oh, no, this is just verses. Maybe this is just put there so that you know which verses.
Another question. Starting mantra 15, there is like the question was with 12 marks. How would you paraphrase the prayers? But like I would paraphrase the prayers in 2-3 words, not in.
How?
I need to read the mantra.
Please do. Please do. Here he says, please remove the effulgence, show yourself. That's 3 words. 4. Okay, 4 words. But then the next one, this is what we read. But before this, let me ask you, we have a difference of opinions. The exam. We want to have the exam tomorrow morning during the Bhagavatam. However, some good people are saying, how about the exam tomorrow evening and not tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow evening, we would like to have the kid or we could do it before Bhagavati. Perfect, we celebrate.
Just need like 1 day off, like going through. I mean, it's like so much.
When you leave,
I have so much syllabus, I need at least 1 day off.
yes, Prabhu, we really have a busy.
I can imagine, yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. Who leaves after tomorrow morning? I know Harinam Chintamani and Madhava, he left already, just now out of the door. I wanted to ask him. So maybe I can do something for you, just the 2 of you. Okay? And the whole lot of you, we can do even not tomorrow. Krishna, Krishna. Easy to make. You see how to make people happy. Sorry. You know this joke about 2 students meeting, and one is saying, are you prepared for the exam? Which exam? The Chinese language. Chinese language? Really? When? In 3 hours. In 3 hours, I will prepare. Yeah, the whole 3 hours. Easy. Anything. It's a joke, anyway. Okay, so, all right. Let's do like this.
So we can chant japa tomorrow morning.
You can chant japa every morning. It's anyway. So okay. So then let's have for Rajendranandan and Harinam Chintamani some. Maybe Madhava will give you Gita. Може завтра Гиту напишете? Чи да? Okay. And then Isopanisad, what, Tuesday morning or Tuesday morning, I think, right?
So tomorrow is a regular Bhagavatam class?
Yes. We can even put somebody else instead of me.
Tomorrow is Prabhupada.
Huh?
Tomorrow is Prabhupada, but you could do the...
Ekadashi.
No, it's always a Monday, but you could do the exam of the downstairs in the Tulsi room. No, he's saying that he's not doing the exam tomorrow morning except for Rajendra, Nanda, Prabhu, and Harinam Chintamani.
Uh-huh.
You don't need to do it in the temple, he can do it somewhere else.
Yeah.
They can have here Prabhupada.
Okay. Okay. All right. Then the next question: have the exam tomorrow evening or Tuesday morning? What's convenient? More convenient for most of you? Tomorrow evening. Tomorrow evening. Tomorrow evening. Tomorrow evening. Tomorrow morning for you. Tomorrow morning. That's. Okay. Yeah. Well. Yes. Somebody can join tomorrow morning, please come. We have 2, maybe 3 people. Then Isopanisad tomorrow, when? Before. So, there maybe, right? Kirtan evening means starts when? After Guru Arati. So then, how about 5:30? 5:30 in the downstairs near the prasadam room. Left side, yes. Okay. How you call this room? Conference room. Tulasi room. Bhakti yes, come to the Bhakti Sastri room. We wrote already. Is it? Wow. Okay. Already exams were written there very successfully. It has good Shakti there. Yes. Happened before. Okay, so then, this 5:30 Isopanisad in that Tulsi Mataji Festival conference room. And except with 2 of you, maybe 3 of you, we will do, maybe somebody else we can do in the morning during the class? During the class, right? During the class? Yes? And the class is Prabhupada's class tomorrow. Yeah? Okay. Alles klar. Yeah? We have decided everything. Thank you. You are a very harmonious group. Yes. I'm not sure. I mean, this is the time and date usually such a topic of contention. Good. All right. So now a prayer for a peaceful death. True. And spiritual too. Prayer 17. This is why it's very auspicious to counteract depressions, and very auspicious, the whole Isopanisad, and very auspicious for departing souls. Let us chant mantra 17. Vayuranilam amritam athedam basmantam shariram Om kratos smara kritam smara kratos smara kritam smara. Let this temporary body be burnt to ashes, and let the air of life be merged with the totality of air. Now, O my Lord, please remember all my sacrifices, and because you are the ultimate beneficiary, please remember all that I have done for you. Okay, so this is a prayer to help remember. Prabhupada explains this as a pure prayer to help a devotee remember Krishna. It sounds like a prayer for liberation, and it can be also explained like this, a prayer, because Madhvacharya explains, Baldev Vidyabhushan explains here that Vayur Anilam, the life air into the totality of air, means may first the subtle body be purified, removed, dissolved. And only after that, the gross body may drop and die. Not the other way around. Sometimes we think, let me die. Sorry, if just this body dies, doesn't solve much, actually, nothing actually. Because we carry our problems in the subtle body. Right? So therefore the subtle body remains. So this is mind, intelligence and ego and chitta consciousness or mahatattva. So therefore this devotee here says, may my body be purified, may it merge back into the universe, into the mahatattva, and after that, let it die or not die, it doesn't matter. Kapila Shiksha in the 3rd canto has a verse, Jarayat Yashuya Kosha Nigirnam Analoyatha, which says that bhakti is like the fire of digestion, devotional service, bhakti yoga is like the fire of digestion, which digests the subtle body. The subtle body is digested. Like the fire of digestion digests and burns the food, we put in the stomach the same way Bhakti Yoga digests and removes the subtle body, our contaminated mind, contaminated intelligence, material intelligence, and false ego. It can be digested. And then the comparison is that liberated soul is like a dry coconut. So if you have seen it, makes a rattling sound, right? It's not connected. It's not glue attached anymore inside. So in the same way, a liberated soul is no longer tied to this body. So the subtle body is so purified that they can be free. So this is what a devotee is praying here. Please help me. Yes.
Why does this person who prays most too much need
Meaning purify my mind and my subtle body. Basically, the subtle body consists of our desires. Desires, impressions, memories from previous lives, attachments. Is like what?
It's a matter of language. It's not.
Well, it's also literally true. Because this is we do not we have spiritual mind and we have spiritual intelligence. In that third canto verse, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that just like fire of digestion, it does not just burn. Like today we ate sabji, chapati or puri or both, and it's not just burnt to coal, right? It's good things are taken out, nutrients like protein and essential fat and glucose are sent to the brain so you can study very nicely. And calcium and zinc and whatever is sent to your bones and hair and nails, and it's used very nicely. All the nutrients are taken, and then the rest is expelled. So in the same way, he says, Bhakti Yoga does not just burn. If there is something good in the mind intelligence, then this is incorporated into our awakened spiritual body. So it's not simply burning, but technically means just purifying us of the subtle body. And the gross body is still used as the machine to serve Krishna.
So when this digestion or dissolving process happens, what happens to the super soul which we have? Soul will go to the
Yes. Oh, this is very interesting. What happens to the super soul? This is very interesting. Bhagavatam 284 says that when you begin to hear about Krishna, Krishna enters through your ear and goes onto the lotus of your heart and sits in your heart. So for a devotee, Krishna Bhakta, it's no longer generic Paramatma, it's your worshipable Lord. Like some of you, I can see you have Krishna, some of you have Prahlad Nrisimha, some of you have Gornitai. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm making a little joke, but don't mind. Sorry. So your worshipable Lord, he enters through your ear, and in other words, Paramatma is a generic form. That's how Krishna interacts with basically ordinary people. But when you start developing love, then he manifests in that yad dhyata urugaya vibhavayanti, as 3, 9, 10 also describes that. Aseshu tekshita pathe. Krishna comes on he walks on the road of your hearing and manifests in your heart in that form in which you meditate upon him. So therefore, this is no longer Paramatma, this is your eternal friend, and he takes you by the hand and takes you to the spiritual world. You go to the spiritual world.
which is not the case for the people who go to Brahmacharya.
No, devotees, yes.
What was the reference? 5 to
For what? For which?
this Krishna, our worshipable
284 and 3910. 284 and 3910. Okay, congratulations. And time is flying, and we are here. The very beautiful purports. Please read and listen. I have the German audiobook read by Sudevi. I don't know if you of Isopanisad. I don't know where I got it. Maybe it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube, yeah? Isopanisad? She has her channel on YouTube. Krishna book is there in German, the full Krishna book. You know that you have German Krishna book there, very nicely read. And then you have Isopanisad, which... Yeah. Yeah? Yeah. I don't know. Yes. Yes. And initially I think it was even Krishna book or something. Yes. Okay, so you can listen. Also you have this on Shikshashtaka's website and somewhere else. So you can read, you can listen. She reads really nicely. I was just listening to her and I couldn't believe, oh, really? It says like this? Where? Really? Yeah, that's here. I mean, I read it so many times and somehow she reads so nicely that again comes out very clearly. Yes, yeah, I listened and I feel like uplifted. I just listen and I see, oh, really? It says like this? Where? True. It's like this. She reads it so nicely. Is she in Leipzig now or in Mayapur? Vienna. Okay, all right. Okay. Anyway, if you see, send her and her husband. Hare Krishna. Yes, she reads so nicely. Yes, true. Okay. Yes, Damodar, very nicely read by Damodar. Yes, Bhaktivedanta. You can also Google Bhaktivedanta Vedic Library. You have the Bhagavatam and many books, also very nicely read by Damodar. Yeah. Okay, very nice. So you see, so many blessings are flowing. So many. Yeah. Wow. Huh? Up. Hare Krishna. Yeah, now we criticize Kali Yuga, but you can see that there are some advantages too. That's why Parikshit didn't kill Kali. He said, okay, there is something good there too. He found some few good qualities, and here we are. Okay. So, what we remember at death, there we go. This krato means sacrifices. Also, it means there is another subtle comment, because in every sacrifice you begin by setting a goal, and this goal or intention is also called krato. So, therefore, it can be explained. Please remember my intentions when I was doing service to you. And if you were here for the nectar of instruction, you remember that this intention is the heart of the heart, the very important part of devotional service. This intention to please Krishna, intention to make Krishna happy. So here, this is, he's saying, please remember this, and that means it will help us to remember. Krato smara, kritam smara. Please remember my good intentions. There are very nice commentaries. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that we should run along the parallel lines, taking care of the body, and taking care for self-realization. So as long as we have this body, we don't neglect, we take care, because we use this as a vehicle for serving, and also as the vehicle for hearing about Krishna and advancing. This This helps us to serve. Any questions so far? Okay, so can we go a few more minutes? Or shall we have some more discussion tomorrow in the morning? Except for the exams. I don't know how they will do exams. We do exams before or after? Or
We have discussion and then after we have the exam with a too short time.
Or you would just relax in the morning? Huh? Huh? You would? Ah, you would never relax. Oh, maybe I should give more boring lectures. True. So you can relax in the class.
Can I ask one question? Because we were talking about that, there's also one question in the question of the exam about the relationship of the High Court judge as an example for the living entity in relationship to the Supreme Lord. So is it meant like this, that if you want to become like a judge at the Supreme Court, you first have to get like qualifications,
Yes.
and then second, you also need the permission
Yes.
of the authority.
Yes,
so
exactly.
like the
Yes.
Lord for
Yes. So
But-
effort and mercy, like
Okay,
in the
effort and
Damodar
mercy.
Lila, two things together. Or like here, there's 3 steps of your work and then 1 step Krishna giving you mercy. Or High Court judge, qualification, study and qualification, and then sanction of some authority. That's the idea. In other words, we are not. We have free will. We are not without choice. We are not like pieces of wood or stones that are carried around. We have choices, but we are not independent, right? We need Krishna's sanction. So this is coming together, which is oftentimes we like to say just one thing. Either I am completely independent, or it's all Krishna's decision. I am just like a puppet, but it's together.
How about it should be the answers?
In the exam, short. Okay, now let's read this beautiful concluding mantra together. Agne naya subadharaye asman vishvani deva vayunani vidvan yuyodyasmat juhuranameno bhuishtam te namauktim vidhema. Very nice prayer. Oh my Lord, as powerful as fire. So again we have some kirtan, nama kirtan, Agne, as fire. Oh omnipotent one. This is the translation of probably Raya. Raya means supreme treasure. Now I offer you all obeisances, falling on the ground at your feet. Oh my Lord, please lead me on the right path to reach you. And since you know all that I have done in the past, please free me from the reactions to my past sins, so that there will be no hindrance to my progress. It's a beautiful prayer, right? Please lead me. And like being the supreme, you know all my thoughts. You know my heart. So please help me to not be stopped by my sins. And please guide me. So you Yodi, please move aside the obstacles and please lead me forward. And everything I can offer to you is my obeisances, because everything is yours already. What can I give you except just saying my obeisances? I surrender to you, I offer my obeisances to you, I fall humbly on the ground, prostrating myself before you. So even just uktim, just saying I'm yours, already helps us to get mercy. We have 3 famous mantras in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna Charama Shloka, Krishna says, surrender to me, yeah, I will protect you. Then there is Rama Charama Shloka, where he says, if you say one time, I am yours, I promise forever I will give you protection. If you one time say, I am yours, I will give you protection forever. Abhayam sarvada tasmai dadam yetat vratamai. I take a vow that forever I will give you fearlessness. And there is also one other Varaha Charama Shloka. Varaha says, even if my devotee dies unconscious, I do not forget him, I remember him, and I bring him back. So these are some promises of the Lord in different incarnations. And so even just trying to approach Krishna, we begin somewhere, we begin with the words. So that's why the kirtan, chanting, singing, and pronouncing the names of Krishna are so powerful. And this is the most powerful method for this age. We have it in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sakrit eva prapanno yas, it begins. Even if you say one time, if somebody surrenders one time saying, I'm yours.
Also the next verse is also Krishna to Mother Mother. It's also the same actually.
Yeah?
This one is really free from the touch of Maya.
This is Madhya 22:34. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 22:34.
But the next verse is also same.
Bhakti Mukti Sin.
This verse actually, you know?
Where? In
The next verse.
in Chaitanya Charitamrita?
Krishna to Mother is this.
Kama Sarva Kama Vo. All verses are really good. Madhya 22:34. 34, да. Yeah. It's from Ramayana. Yes, Hare Krishna. So, it would be really nice if you can write your own prayer to Krishna. Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna is especially happy to give some direction to devotees. He says that for the non-devotees, God gives sanction, permission to the doer, only at the risk of the doer. But in the case of a devotee, the Lord directs him in such a way that he never acts wrongly. So even if he does a mistake, then Krishna rectifies, he protects, he corrects. And for the second time, Prabhupada says, to err is human. You must have heard this. To err is human. He says this in the beginning, and here again he says, to err is human. That's a famous Latin expression. Errare humanum est, if somebody was learning. Yeah. To make mistakes is human. That's very natural. You remember the 4 defects of a conditioned soul. And then Prabhupada says, such directions or hints are given to the sincere devotee in 2 ways. One is by way of the saints, scriptures and spiritual master, Guru Sadhu Shastra, and the other is by way of the Lord himself, who resides within the heart of everyone. Thus, the devotee, fully enlightened with Vedic knowledge, is protected in all respects. So these are the blessings of Sri Isopanisad and Srila Prabhupada and the disciplic succession and Guru Parampara. Let's engage ourselves in the best possible way in serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission of helping everybody help themselves and be helped by this sublime spiritual process, the essence of which is hearing and chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Prahlad Nrsimhadev ki jai. Simhachalam students ki jai. Hare Krishna.
And just ask how to spell this for the last three and for
Nididyasitavyo. Nididyasitavyo. It's connected to dhyana, meditation. But this nididyasa is like being very fixed in consciousness.